What is up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. So I don't know about you guys, but I have been really liking to do testing sort of makeup videos recently. Let me know down below if you guys like them as well, or else I'll stop doing them. But I personally really like them. Now in today's video, I am about to test out a very exciting and very Christmassy product for you guys. And it is basically the Grinch makeup palette. Now I have been literally eyeing this up ever since I kind of found out about the Grinch collaboration with Pur Cosmetics. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it, but they have a whole collection in collaboration with Dr Seuss, The Grinch, which is honestly so exciting and so Christmassy. I actually only managed to get my hands on the makeup palette, but I know they do some brushes and I think some blushes and lipsticks as well. However, I am going to test out for you guys the palette today. Let me know right now in the comments if The Grinch is one of your favorite Christmas movies, because honestly, it is definitely one of mine. It's really up there with like Elf and Home Alone, but The Grinch has a special place in my heart. So I got this palette on Beauty Bay. I'm pretty sure it was around £35, but I will link it down below if you guys want to check it out. So yeah, let's just jump straight in and just kind of open it up and see how it looks. I'm honestly so excited for this because The Grinch is, as I say, one of my favorite movies, and the packaging is just so cute. Look at that. So this is what the palette looks like. It basically comes in like a little box with all these like gold foiled sort of words all over it, and this is the back. So basically what you're meant to do is you're just meant to lift up this lid, and oh my god, look at that. So it's basically got like a little pop-up scenery inspired by the Grinch with a mirror inside, which is just so Christmassy and so cute. I absolutely love that. And then the palette is inside. It basically comes out of the drawer, and it is just the cutest thing ever. So it's basically in the shape of a heart. It fully comes out of the packaging, which is really cool actually. And this is the selection of colors. We have some shimmers, some satins, also some mattes, but I am kind of obsessed with this. I really like the colors, although they are kind of like not really what I expected. When I think of the Grinch, I think like bright red, bright green, when really there's a lot of pinks and a lot of like mauves, and there's only two greens in this palette. So one's like a satin, kind of like murky green, and then there's a very vibrant sort of sparkly green as well. But I've got to say, I really wish there was like a bright neon green in this palette. I feel like that would have just made it. I've got to say these colors are a little bit more on the neutral side, although there are some like bright colors in here. They're not like super bright, so it is still really wearable. And then you do have the two glitters if you want to feel a bit festive and crack out the glitters. Okay, so I've had a little look for some inspiration on like Google and Pinterest, as you do, and I found this really cool look by an Instagrammer called Angela. Now I will pop a photo of her look right here. I am so inspired by all of her amazing like eye looks. She does so many cool artistic ones, so I feel like we're just gonna go ahead and basically try and recreate this look and see what I can do, if I can recreate it. I just feel like it's very Grinch and it's very Christmassy, so hopefully we can recreate this with this palette. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna take the green shadow from this palette. This one is kind of like a satin shimmer. It's not too shimmery, but it definitely has a sparkle in it. Now I've got to say, this isn't really the type of color that I would usually wear through the crease, and also because it's quite shimmery, it's not really that suitable for the crease. However, we are quite limited with the colors in this palette, so I'm just gonna try and make do. But what can you do when there isn't really a matte green? I am actually really disappointed about that. So far, I definitely feel like it's not really as pigmented as I would have wanted it to be. It definitely looks okay, but it's very like, I don't know, it just hasn't got that oomph to it. So I'm just basically trying to layer up that pigment. Hopefully this will turn out to be a lot nicer with more layers. However, I just don't think it's gonna have the desired effect that I really want. Now I feel really bad, but I almost want to touch this up with some of the Artistry palette by James Charles, because I know that those shadows are so pigmented and it would so complement this look. Okay, next up I'm gonna take this shadow right here, which is the yellow one from the palette. This is called Loathe. Now what I'm gonna do with this shadow is kind of try and blend that on the top half of the green to kind of fade it into the skin tone. Again, what I really don't like about this palette is that it hasn't got these shadows in the matte, because if it did, this look would be like 100 times better, but we have to work with the satin and shimmers, and it's just not really ideal for this look. However, I just really want to try and make this work. Okay, that yellow honestly did not show up at all. Like, can we just take a moment to look at that? That is literally non-existent. Okay, next up I'm going to take that same green on a little flat brush like this, and I'm just going to run that along my lower lash line and kind of really diffuse it and blend it out. Okay, so far with this green, what I'm thinking is that it's definitely one of those shades that is kind of for those people who want to try and dabble in color a little bit, but don't want to go all the way in, if you know what I mean. To me, it's not very present. I feel like it's just there for the sake of it, but it actually doesn't have any impact. It doesn't really look good. Yeah, I just wish it was a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more pigmented. I feel like if it had one of these shadows from the James Charles palette, it would definitely do it a little bit more for me, because those shadows are so Grinch, whereas this just isn't. Like, it doesn't look or resemble the Grinch in any way, shape or form. Anyway, I'm now going back into the yellow and just kind of applying that towards the lower part of my eye and kind of blending out that green into my skin color. That kind of shows up a little bit more on the lower lash line, but not so much on the upper lash. Definitely doesn't look like my inspiration photo, but that's okay, that's okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the shade Boring, and I'm just gonna take that on a very precise sort of blending pencil brush, and I'm gonna try and basically start to deepen up the crease a little bit. This isn't really the shadow that I'm looking for. However, there's nothing else to use, so I'm just gonna have to use this one. I wish there was a slightly darker green, but there just isn't very many options to work with. I'm just kind of gonna try and blend that into the crease a little bit, and also diffuse it into the rest of that green color. Okay, so now that I'm applying this brown shadow, it definitely applies a lot better than the green and the yellow, and I just feel like it definitely looks the most pigmented out of all of them. I don't know if that's just because it's the darkest shadow that I have used so far. Again, I just wish that this palette just had more than 2 matte shades. Like, we only really have this one and this one to work with, and they don't really go with the other shadows that I want to like actually apply. I'm gonna take a bit more of that yellow on a little pencil brush and just apply that in the very inner corner, just to kind of, you know, make it pop a little bit and kind of tie in with the rest of the yellow, which is pretty much non-existent, but somehow it is kind of showing up in the inner corner, so that's surprising. Okay, my camera just cut out, which is so annoying, but basically, I've just been a little bit naughty during that time. When it cut out, I actually went in and ended up using the James Charles palette, because I just honestly, hear me out, I could not deal with that green in this palette. And I mean, we've all seen it, we can all agree that that was an awful green. It just wasn't doing anything. So I ended up using the Artistry palette by Morphe x James Charles, and I just used these 2 greens because my look was just gonna be jeopardized by that one green color, and I was not gonna let that happen for this video. So I'm really sorry for anyone out there who is offended by the fact that I didn't just use this palette for this look, but let's be honest, I tried that shadow and it sucked. Although this look that I'm trying to recreate doesn't really have too much going on with like other shadows, it has like the really bold liner, which I can't really use with this palette. I definitely want to give one more shadow a go, like maybe this green one here or like this one here. I'm not 100% sure which one to use. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna carve out my crease. So for this, I'm just using my YSL concealer. This is the All Hours concealer in shade 2. I've gotta say, I honestly suck at doing cut creases, so please pray for me. Okay, so once you have carved out this sort of shape, we're then just going to set that into place with some translucent powder. The one I'll be using today is the Laura Mercier translucent powder, which looks like this. This is one of my cult favorites. I use this pretty much every day. And this is really great to kind of set down that very nude cut crease sort of shape so that it doesn't go smudging everywhere and ruining your look. So once my right eye is set, I'm now going to go ahead and carve out this eye as well. I literally look so funny right now. Okay, so now that my cut crease is finished, I'm now gonna dip into this color right here, which is the green shimmer shadow, and this is called Mr. Grinch. So I'm actually gonna take this on a very flat, small brush, and I'm gonna pop this kind of like on the lower lash line, just to add a little bit of something to this look. I really hope that this shadow isn't too flaky. Okay, so that is actually really pretty. There is a little bit of fallout, but not too much. That shadow is actually super pretty. I really like that on the lower lash line. And now we can move on to the eyeliner. This is the bit that I'm actually kind of scared about recreating because it is super intense. It's basically like a red and white candy cane. So I am gonna take my trusty NYX white eyeliner and I'm gonna basically use that as the base for the eyeliner. What we want to create with this is something that's quite adjacent to the cut crease that we've created. So we want it to be quite thin, but also kind of angled in the same way that the cut crease is. Now that my Y liner is in place, it looks a little bit funny right now, but we're gonna complete it with some red. Now, for the red, I'm actually gonna take a red lip liner because I don't actually own a red eyeliner. That is just not really the color I tend to use for my eyes. So I'm just gonna take this one from Maybelline. It's called the Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner. This is in shade Brick Red 150. It has quite a thin tip, so I'm hoping that I can kind of get in there and create the reds for the candy cane sort of liner. This is so hard when you haven't got the right tools. What the heck? Okay, can I just say, what the hell did I just do? This looks so bad. And it's all because I don't have a blimming red liner. So I'm just gonna go back in with the white one and just try and fix up this mess. What have I done? So this is the best I can do, you guys. This is the reality of actual makeup compared to Instagram makeup. I feel like on Instagram you can just face tune it, you can touch up any mistakes. Not in real life. This is how it looks in real life, for me anyway. I mean, I definitely did not have the supplies to be able to make this work. Okay, I've got to say I probably should have never even started doing this candy cane liner because I did not have the supplies to be able to do this and make it look good. We're just gonna look past that. We're gonna pop on some lashes and hope to God that that covers it up a little bit. So for the lashes today, I'm gonna be using these ones right here. Now, I'm not even sure if these pairs of lashes came in this box because I can tell that they've been used and I don't know if this is the brand that they are. So if they are, that's great, but please don't rely on me because I don't know if these are the right pair. Okay, here we go. This could either make it or break it. Okay, so I feel like the lashes have somewhat salvaged this look, so we're gonna move on to the face. So there's actually two shades for the face in this palette. We've got the blush and also a highlighter. I'm just gonna apply the blush onto the very apples of my cheeks, and oh my god, that's actually a really pretty blush shade. It definitely makes me think of like being out in the snow and just like building a snowman and just being like really cold and kind of like getting rosy cheeks from that. And lastly, I'm gonna take the highlighter. This is in the shade Feeling Frosty, which is so cute. I love this color. So I'm just gonna take it on a little highlighter brush and just apply it to the tops of my cheekbones. Ooh, that is actually super pretty. So this is definitely more of like a champagne slash gold kind of highlighter. I think it's really pretty for most skin tones. I'm also gonna apply a little bit of that onto the end of my nose and also the bridge. Now, lastly in this palette, we have a lipstick. So this, I'm actually really intrigued because it is green. Now, I don't know if green is really my color for the lip especially. So we're gonna give it a little swatch because, do you know what? I actually have a feeling this is gonna be one of those changing color lipsticks instead of actually being green. So let's just do a little swatch on the back of my hand. Ooh, I knew it. I knew this was gonna be one of those changing color ones. Okay, so in case you guys are not familiar with a green color changing lipstick, what this does is it basically changes color when it comes in contact with your skin. And also this color can change and vary in between like what your skin type is and also what the temperature of your skin is. So I'm just gonna line my lips with this lip liner from The Body Shop. And now that my lips are lined, I'm gonna go in with the green lipstick and see what kind of color this turns into. Okay, this lipstick smells really nice. It kind of smells like peppermint. Okay, so this is the lip. I've gotta say, I have no clue why they chose this lipstick to be in this kit because, to be honest, a super pink lip color like this doesn't really go with any of these shades. Maybe a couple like this one here and then this one here, but if you were to wear any of the other looks, this sort of lip doesn't really go in my opinion. Personally, I would have loved a red to be in there because I feel like that's really Christmassy, and I feel like it also goes with the burgundy sort of shadows in the palette. However, the lipstick on its own, it does feel really nice on the lips. I actually really like how it looks as well, but it just doesn't really go with this look. So this is my finished look using this palette right here. Overall, I've got to say I love the idea of it. I think it's really cute as like a Christmas gift, and you know, the Grinch, like the Grinch has got my heart, so I feel like for that reason I really wanted to like this palette. However, when I tried it, I wasn't really that impressed with the pigmentation of the shadows. I feel like they could have chosen a lot more like Grinch and Christmassy related shadows in this palette. Overall, I've got to say I do really like this look now that I've got it on. It definitely took a lot of hard work and a lot of effort to try and get it to look like this. I definitely take my hat off to Angela, who created this look over on her Instagram. Make sure you guys check it out because I really did have fun recreating her look. I definitely did not do it justice. Her look is like 100 times more amazing than mine, but I definitely had fun trying to recreate something that is a little bit out of my comfort zone. Let me know what you guys think. How did I do? Please don't be too harsh on me. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my little Grinch palette review. I hope you guys liked this video. I definitely want to do a lot more like makeup tutorials and makeup related videos in the new year, so definitely stay tuned for that, and also let me know what you guys would like to see in 2019. But anyways, that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! Mwah.